What is up, everybody? How's it going? Welcome back to Farmer Traders, where I take a look at the markets and learn as I go, learning about trading and technical analysis. I am not a professional trader. I just started looking at charts 6 months ago in January of this year, about 7 months ago now. So if you follow me, this is educational content only, not financial advice. I'm new to this. I'm learning, and this live stream is purely practice for me and a way to record my thoughts and also hopefully teach others what I've learned so far, which is not a whole lot, but it's enough to understand somewhat what's going on in the markets. So we'll be looking at some Bitcoin and not much else today. I'm really staying pretty hyper-focused on Bitcoin and a little bit focused on Ethereum. About 75% of my portfolio is Bitcoin, the other 25% is Ethereum, and then as far as my trading accounts goes, and I have a Roth IRA that's 100% invested in GBTC, which is Grayscale Bitcoin Trust, and I have a 401k that's invested mostly in the company I work for because I don't really have any other options. I've got it in a index fund, half in an index fund and half in my company. And my company's actually outperforming the index fund right now, funnily enough. Well, that's not actually surprising. Index funds usually aren't that great. They're just safe. So, let's take a look at the Bitcoins. So I had it set to look at the monthly chart. It's the first thing I wanted to talk with you guys about. Monthly just closed as of 3 minutes ago. Can you guys see my clock down here? No, you can't. But it is 8 p.m. on June the 30th, the last day of the month. Monthly candle just closed. Exciting times, except not really. Hey, look, it just put us right out of the resistance, though, automatically, because the candles are so freaking huge. Yeah, I remember back in, March, when we had, we were here, we had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 green candles, up candles in a row, and people on some Discord chats and Twitter that I was following were being like, we should probably have a red candle here soon. I expect a red monthly candle. That would be really healthy for Bitcoin if we had a red monthly candle. It's been running a little hot. And then we started off March, April in the red. And I'm like, okay, this is good. It started off and was kind of going down. Like, all right, we might get a red candle. Everyone just be patient. In April, and then the bottom fell out. In May, we had this. Oh my God. Yeah. People, be careful what you wish for. Overall, this is obviously bound to happen. We were running hot. We were looking for a pullback. But then, May just destroyed everything. And now we're in no man's land. Trading sideways, range bound, potentially Wyckoff accumulation phase. Potential to go lower. Yep. But yeah, here we go. Monthly close red. Not significant downside, but red nonetheless. Let's hope things start looking up from here, but be mentally prepared for more down. So, last night I talked about how we had this breakout of this trend line. Day before we had a breakout of these diagonal trend lines, and said that it looked like Bitcoin was trying to put in some repairs, which it was trying to. We very shortly had a breakout of this trend line here, and kind of last significant, kind of diagonal resistance that we were looking at. This is a trend line that Bitcoin got rejected on when it was trying to break out of this accumulation range. So yeah, we rejected here, came up, and same thing. Last night we were somewhere around here, or getting rejected, and I said, I'm pretty sure I said, look, we might retest this line. This might be a good place to go long, but we're being rejected, so I don't know. I'm not taking any trades right now. I'm waiting until we get out of this range to take trades. So, but yeah, I said this might be a good idea, but you also might get stopped out if you put your stop loss here. And I also said going into the evening last night that if we close red on the daily, that Asia tends to dump, and it dumped. Well, we didn't close red on the daily, sorry, we closed green on the daily, but if you close, with any lack of momentum going into the evening on Eastern Standard Time, which, the momentum had slowed down significantly last night, Asia tends to just dump it the rest of the way, and they did. Woke up, Bitcoin had bounced off of this support, and look, perfect touch, nearly perfect touch of the support that I drew in. The support comes from, I believe it's a daily support. Yep, it's coming from this range back here, bouncing off these daily closes. Might even go back further. Yeah, we got a little bit of interaction back here, but it's mostly, market likes this line based on these recent prices. So yeah, we bounced. Whoa, I'm confused. 8 hours. Yeah, bounced right off of it, came back up a little bit, but now we've broken through it and came back up again. So, title of this video, I believe, is what did we title it? I don't even know. My wife wrote the titles. But anyway, I wanted to highlight that this could be stop loss hunting. The market manipulators, market makers will do that. They will try to anticipate setups that a lot of people are in, and they look at the order books and everything, and they say, okay, people are probably putting their stop loss. Maybe they looked at this and saw what I saw. Maybe, I don't know, but maybe they looked at this, saw what I saw, and said, hey, people probably went long here with their stop loss right about here. Let's dump it just below and bring it right back up, which is exactly what happened. That looks to me like, oh, people that tried to go long here with their stop loss here got stopped out, but then the market quickly came right back above that area where you would have got stopped out. So, had you set your stop loss lower, you would have been safe. Maybe I just don't set good stop losses. I didn't take this trade, so I would have been fine. But this is a lesson for me to, if I were to gone long here, well, one, it would have been I think a bad idea, because you did not get confirmation of the breakout of this trend line, which you should always wait for confirmation of breakouts with at least a daily close, in my opinion. If not daily, a 12-hour close. But I think I'm going to stick to my guns and say I'm going to wait for daily closes for taking trades in crypto, or at least in Bitcoin. I might change that strategy in the future, but I think it's the safest play. So yeah, we did not get a confirmation of a breakout of this downward sloping trend line. So if you had taken this trade, it would have been a risky move, and it would have not worked out for you. And if your stop loss was lower, you wouldn't have got stopped out, but you're risking more capital, and we could very likely go down further. So this trade's no longer in the picture. I'll just go ahead and get rid of that for now. It's not really serving any purpose anymore. But now we're looking at, I don't know exactly what we're looking at. We'll see. Maybe we'll break back out of this trend line, but I don't think so. In my opinion, I think we're probably going to come test at least 33 down here somewhere. You're looking at the daily. Yeah, I'd say this is probably your next level that we'll test. We'll see if it holds. We're probably going to come back below this descending trend line. But, maybe Bitcoin falls into a falling wedge here. It's a bullish pattern, kind of like a bull flag. Falling wedge would look like this. it's already not really, in that. It kind of already is invalidated if you're drawing your lines strictly based on these trend lines. But I could see something like this forming, kind of a wedge-ish shape. Oops. Yeah, something like that, maybe, oops. This is just me playing around with lines, not any financial advice here, but, this could be kind of a bullish or, neutral scenario. We could consolidate between these trend lines, or, have it maybe something like this, some kind of consolidation, which, if it's a descending wedge, if the wedge is like this, oops, like this, where price goes, going up, and then you fall into the descending wedge, and that's typically bullish pattern. It's like a bull flag. Let's see what else better. Going up, you get into the wedge. If you're already in an uptrend, then you get into a descending wedge, then you're likely to break out of it back to the upside. Conversely or inversely, if you have an ascending wedge and price is in a downtrend, going down, and then you enter into an ascending wedge, it tends to break down and be, this tends to be a bearish pattern. Now, these are just chart patterns. They're not reliable in any, I don't want to say they're not reliable, but they are not the most reliable way to base levels and everything. It just kind of gives you an idea of where the market might be heading. Statistically speaking, descending wedges turn out to be bullish more often than bearish, but it can turn out either way. And I've seen fake outs with Bitcoin on these wedge patterns. You might enter into a descending wedge. We might enter into something like descending wedge, and then you break up real fast, and you're like, yay, it was a bullish descending wedge, and then it just dumps right after that. That just screams manipulation to me, because, it's a bullish pattern, you get a breakout, a really intense one, and then it just dumps. It happened recently, I think, somewhere, I think it was here, I think I was looking at a wedge, something like this. No, that wouldn't have worked. That wouldn't have been it, because we were descending. It's not valid if you're already descending. You have to be ascending into a descending wedge, then ascend back out of it. But anyway, I have seen it happen where if you enter into one of these patterns and then it does what you think it's going to do and breaks to the upside, but then it just immediately gets rejected hard. That looks like manipulation to me, but who knows. But yeah, that's what I see going on with Bitcoin right now. Let's see if we test this support the next 24 hours or so. Maybe we go lower. Last night we looked at this log chart that I've made, kind of tracking Bitcoin long term, more zoomed out view, and I've got some, I feel, what I believe to be some pretty good levels drawn in, are some good trend lines, parallel channels drawn in here that it looks to me like the market seems to respect these, and I think we are retesting some resistance here, and this may lead to further downside. We were kind of bouncing, testing that support for a while. And the more often you test support, the weaker it becomes, and we've kind of Bitcoin's kind of busted through this support. Look, it's come right up and it's testing it. The key market level is here, but then I've got a parallel line drawn right off of it. It looks clear to me that Bitcoin likes this line, or is following this trend line. So yeah, I could see us bouncing pretty low. You know, I'm expecting, or at least anticipating, a wick down to here. That might be the rocket fuel that Bitcoin needs, because it's just not making any decisive moves right now. And it just feels to me like it's just slowly falling off the edge of a cliff. You know, just being just dead man walking to the edge of a cliff, about to fall off. But if it falls off, I think that's the moment that the real big players are waiting to step up and start buying it back up, and they'll start pushing positive narratives again. You know, we're gonna have this conference with Jack Dorsey and Elon Musk. Supposedly, it's gonna be there in a few weeks. I bet they pump it. You know, we'll see though. Not financial advice, but yeah, that's what it looks like is going on. Ethereum. Yeah, getting rejected off of resistance here. I'm a little more bullish on Ethereum than Bitcoin right now, though. It's making Ethereum always seems to be more decisive in its breakouts than Bitcoin. Bitcoin's breakouts have been weak all year, to me, or at least ever since I've been following it closely. But when Ethereum breaks out, it breaks out, and then it'll get a little resistance for like a day or two, then it'll break out again. So, the Ethereum, we haven't looked at this yet together, but this is the Ethereum Bitcoin chart. Let's just clear this up. This is, you know, Ethereum versus Bitcoin. So as this chart rises, this is going up shows Ethereum increasing in value relative to Bitcoin. You know, if Ethereum goes up 10%, but Bitcoin only goes up 5% a day, then this chart goes up, basically. So if you're looking to pit Ethereum against Bitcoin, you're looking at this chart. It's been a bit of a wild ride, but I mean, look, it's getting some pretty big moves on it the past few days. Just drawing a few levels here. Let's see, I see some support right about, yeah, I think we'll go with right there. Get some support there. Yeah, of course, right there. And it's probably going to come into some resistance here. Yeah, look, it bounced right off that resistance. Boom. So maybe we'll come in for a retest of some support right there. Yeah. So yeah, I bet we break out this. I bet Ethereum, we started seeing some higher highs on Ethereum pretty soon. Yeah, I'd like to get back up here on Ethereum. That'd look nice. I see it happening. Ethereum usually leads Bitcoin, so if Ethereum starts pumping hard, then Bitcoin is probably going to follow. I don't know, maybe we experienced the flippening this year, which is where Ethereum takes over Bitcoin in terms of, I guess, market cap. I doubt it's going to happen this year, but maybe it'll happen sooner than we think. A lot of people are calling for it. I don't know. I'm not that much of an expert in regards of Ethereum. I just follow the price, and I've got a pretty big penny on it, so wish I would have sold up here. I'll never forget just watching this, and it's like, I'm just gonna let it run. And then it just crashed so hard. Yeah. You can look at some others real quick. Binance Coin. I held a little bit of this a while ago. I don't hold any more right now, but it's not looking super hot. Might be seeing a triangle pattern here. Symmetric triangle. These can break up or down. There's no real bullish or bearish bias on these. It's right into that triangle. Usually, from what I've heard and seen, if these triangles make it all the way to the very tip. These symmetric triangles, you know, don't break out somewhere before, well before the point, and then you just see more sideways. After that, it just kind of goes and fizzles into more sideways. It doesn't really get a decisive break. Matic has had some crazy price action. I've played around with Matic a few dollars just to get exposure to it, or you know, its price action. It's so hard to follow. I've seen some guys trade this and be successful, but God, it's been crazy. ADA from what I hear from Brandon at Crypto Trades and Tech. He's got a YouTube channel. He talks a lot about Cardano. Apparently got some good use cases. I don't know too much about the tech behind most of these markets, most of these coins. I don't really know a lot about the tech, honestly. I'd like to know more. I just haven't had the time or I haven't made the time to read up on them. But Cardano is supposed to be, from some people that I trust, you know, I hear that it's got some good use cases. It will be valuable to the DeFi market. Yeah, and it's made some wild moves in the past too. People have made a lot of money trading this one. It's been pretty sideways lately. Not really looking too hard into it right now myself. Just trying to focus on Bitcoin. Want to get some longs on Bitcoin. I want to make some leverage trades, but I'm trying to be patient. If we go into further breakdown on Bitcoin, I might consider a short. If we get a close below probably this level, you know, daily close below this level, which we have not seen yet, I might take a short. Tight stop loss, small amount, you know, not risking more than maybe 1% of all my funds. I might try it. You could make a lot of money shorting if we make a move from, let's see, if you make a move from here to even just right here, maybe you could probably at least get a 20% move. That'd be a pretty good one, and then off to the races after that. So yeah, don't get stopped out, folks. Actually, no, do get stopped out. Set tight stop losses. Don't get liquidated. Let's put it that way. Yeah, set good stop losses. Watch your levels. Don't risk more than don't risk too much of your capital, folks. And I highly advise to not take trades right now. Financial advice: don't trade Bitcoin right now. That's my financial advice, unless you really know what you're doing. And I don't know what I'm doing. I am learning. Save some tweets. Might be interesting to look at. See what people are talking about. There's Brandon. Y'all should follow Brandon. He's a good guy. He knows his stuff. Let's see here. Where is my Twitter page? Oh, how do I do this? Likes. Well, there we go. Rising wedge breakdown. This guy saw a rising wedge breakdown. So this is a bearish pattern. Bitcoin's in a downtrend here, and he saw a bearish pattern forming. I don't know if it's quite a rising wedge. Didn't really come up and test this upper line. It got 2 touches. I guess so. I guess it's rising wedge. But yeah, breakdown. Second test in progress of the Wyckoff support. First test was successful. Watch the volume. We want to see higher low on lesser volume. This would indicate the market is ready for an increase of price. So apparently, according to John K here, one of the key signals for that you are in a phase, phase D of a Wyckoff accumulation is when you have this test here. It has to be a test with a higher low on lesser volume. I don't know if that's true or not. I'm not a Wyckoff expert, but this is what he's saying. With Wyckoff, you get PS is the point of support, so it's the first point of support coming into the accumulation. Then you get a selling climax, which is, I believe this is supposed to be the highest volume section of the schematic. Automatic rally, where you get basically a relief rally into this resistance that forms. You get a secondary test, I think that's what it is, or something test. Support test, I think is what it is. Support test. And then you enter into your accumulation where you just test this resistance up here. It's usually a range. And then you test your support down here, which is usually a range. And this can go on for however long, forming any types of patterns you want. It doesn't have to look like this. And until eventually you get a spring, which is where, sort of like the selling climax, but it goes lower. I think this is usually a high volume event. Price will just drop and then come back up. So it's, springs, and then get some tests of your support. And then last point of support, LPS, break up, I think. And then you hit some support, and you kind of compress into your launch out into phase E. And this is the sign of strength. You'll get typically some type of compression or pattern that it's a sign of, bulls are basically taking back control. So yeah, this is what this guy sees. He's trying to basically fit Bitcoin price action into the, I don't want to say fit, but he sees the accumulation pattern of Bitcoin. He thinks he sees the accumulation, schematic in Bitcoin right now. I'd be right, selling climax. Yep, I would agree with that. High volume, automatic rally, test of some support. Yeah, looks okay to me. Yeah, and then you test your resistance and your range bound, testing the support again, testing your resistance. This is where I'm unsure if this is the spring. It is a high volume. Yep, look, he's saying this is a low volume here. So you get a higher low with low volume. That's what it looks like is happening here. So yeah, could be right. If this guy is correct, then he's looking for a retest around the $32,000 level. Yeah, that could happen. I could see that happening. Wait and see. Some more Wyckoff. This guy is saying that we are either in phase D or phase B. And I've thought about this myself too. It's hard to tell where you are at in the Wyckoff accumulation if you are in it. Because you could have as many tests within this, and it's easy to mistake the spring for just another, or it's easy to mistake just another test of support for the spring. So the key is identifying the spring, because the spring is the last test of support here before getting out and heading up towards your out of your resistance. So did we have a spring here? Was this a spring, or was it just another test of support, and are we actually going to go lower for the spring? So that's what this guy is theorizing. We could be in phase D, which is, this is essentially the same thing as this, basically saying the same thing. You had your selling, well, he's putting the selling climax over here. I don't know, I think he means this is selling climax. I don't really like this overlay thing. I appreciate that this person, drew in the lines and everything themselves and didn't just try to overlay a Wyckoff random schematic onto the price action of Bitcoin. That doesn't work. You can't do that. It's not a chart pattern. It's a schematic. You can't just overlay it. But anyway, regardless, we could be doing this last test of support into your sign of strength here, or I think is kind of more likely myself. What I'm looking to happen is you could have had your selling climax, automatic rally into resistance, like we saw earlier, and then your range bound testing resistance. This wasn't a test of support, but in fact, this was the test of support, in which case we may come back up and test resistance again, which may then lead to a shakeout to lower prices. And look, saying shakeout at 26K or lower. I'm saying that we may get down to 26K or lower. Same thing. That's exactly what I see as likely. I think we're potentially bouncing off of some resistance here, testing it, and we're probably going to, or I think we may test, break down, retest, resume down. I believe that may happen, and then if we do resume down this low, I could see some wicks down to here because of liquidation. People getting liquidated because crazy monkeys are using too much leverage. So, Wyckoff, potential scenario that would still fit a Wyckoff accumulation schematic, and would also fit what I see happening potentially here. Yeah, that's about it. Okay, that's all I got, y'all. Thanks for hanging out. Hope you all enjoyed the content. If there's any chart you'd like me to review, feel free to leave it in the comments. I'm happy to look at any chart and see what I see. I will eventually start breaking out more into other trades once I get some more time. I do want to get into the Forex market one of these days. I want to be a full-time trader so I can get out of my 9-to-5 job working for a company that I do not care to work for anymore. So yeah, I'm going to start looking at this stuff here soon, start walking through it. I've got all my pairs set up so I can get into it. So yeah. Bye y'all. Thanks for tuning in.